Kindly note there is an attendance form. It's a Google document which has been put in the chat. Please fill it up. We will email the certificates of participants through this Google document attendance form. All right, please fill it up. So coming up next, we have, let me share the screen and show you who do we have next. Is Dr. Estelle. Dr. Estelle Wang is from the industry. She is the team lead for Security and Privacy Competence Center Singapore, as well as the Principal Specialist Security and Private Continental Automotive Singapore. So his talk today will be on a journey with security. So Dr. Wang has built a team of Security and Privacy Competence Center at Singapore under the Holistic Engineering and Technologies Continental Automotive Singapore since July 2016. So currently she's leading the team, focusing on automotive advanced research projects and consultant projects, including automotive Ethernet security, security for AI, side channel attacks, countermeasures, and etc. She is also the leading regulation and standardization of cybersecurity in APAC, Singapore, China, Japan, Korea. So she's involved in a lot of things. She's even honored with the title of Top 20 Women in Cybersecurity Singapore 2020 by Public Security Society by building out the cybersecurity community at Continental Automotive. She's currently actively promoting cybersecurity culture to Singapore, and she's contributing on the cybersecurity know-how to Singapore Institute of Technology. Dr. Esther, it's your turn now.
Okay, thank you. Good morning, everyone. Yeah, let me share my screen. Can you see my screen?
No, not yet.
Okay, just a moment. I didn't click the share.
Yeah.
Okay, now hope you can see it.
Yes, can.
Okay, great. Yeah, first of all, welcome from my side. According to the Dr. Ravena's talking about, Philippines women in the tech, the percentage in cybersecurity we narrow down to this industrial is even worse. So according to the North California University studies, only 10% of the cybersecurity women in cybersecurity workforce here, and only around 1% in the top management role in the cybersecurity world. Okay, so basically today I want to share my journey with cybersecurity. Definitely, I'm also joined this task from 2011, but my topics more focused on embedded security with very relationship with the CAS. Okay, a little bit background of myself. I'm the team lead of Security and Privacy Common Center in Continental Automotive. We are directly report to our HQ, where it's located in Frankfurt. We are central functions. We are taking care of all the business unit securities. That's why you can see I'm wear two hats here. One is research and consultant. Then the other side, I'm also taking care of the regulation and standardizations in the APAC region. Okay, a little bit background of myself, how I started this journey. You can see the timeline here. So also the location where I'm coming from, China, and also I have the chances go to the Europeans for postdoc study. Then in the end, I come back to Singapore, also due to my families where we want to be located here. Yeah. Okay, so I'm started from the IC. So it's a VLSI design around that time. Then I started from Singapore. Then I combined these two topics together, so-called hardware security, hardware applied cryptography from my side. Then I also get a chance to go to University of Leuven, just for 1 year, a short time there, but I did learn quite a lot on this topic as well. And then I come back to China as a lecturer, as assistant professors in the Hunan University. Then in the end, I come back to Singapore and still pursue my, passions on this embedded security, like side channel attacks here. Then finally, I go to the automotive tier 1 industrial. And now I'm going here. I'm so happy to share my journey with you. Okay. So my first challenge in my life is when I go to Singapore to study my PhD degrees. Around that time, I have several choices. Yeah, like you see here, I can go to more like a digital signature, digital DSP area, or I can continue my VLSI design, IC design topic, computer architectures. But in the end, I'm more interested in the cryptographic world. Yeah, one side is I can use my mathematics background. The other side, I really want to try this new challenger. In the end, yes, I combine this IC design my skills together with the cryptographic world. So I go into the hardware security world. Yeah, in one shot. Okay. What is the life looks like for security? Yeah, you can see here we are trying to log in and getting the password, and also we're trying to hack your, this bank cards as well. And yeah, some most of the people thinking our daily life is more like a hacking. Okay, so I show a short video. You can get the impression of. Okay, I hope you enjoyed the TV where you think maybe you think in your imagination is very similar what our daily lives looks like. But however, I want to put you from the movie to the reality, what we are doing in our daily life. So first we need to think about, okay, this microcontroller does some security issues, yeah, because as the automotive industry, we're more dealing with the components like ECU. And then we also think about the USB connections, does it secure? We also need to think about V2X, this cloud securities, the Wi-Fi and everything. Then the backend is there. We also need to come up with the idea how to secure the backend as well. And also the phone, anything was connected. And also we're dealing with the mathematics issues with like here you can see this is post-quantum cryptography. One of the algorithms is there. And we also need to think about those vulnerabilities or threats inside the security, inside the system itself. Yeah, that's our daily life in automotive security career. Okay, then let's take a look at the job choices. This is my understanding. If you see this, the green part and the yellow part and the pink part is really, really true that what you love to do and pays well, that's just a dream. What you love to do and what you are good at is happy but poor. Then what you are good at and what pays well is rich but poor. Yeah, so this is something once you start your career path or your job choices, you need to really consider this. Okay, so what really industrial was requires of the career, from all holistic perspective. You need to have the educations, you need to have the skill set, the right skill set. But nevertheless, you shall have a strong driven by yourself in the right-hand side, the value, the vision, the goal, what you really want to achieve. Without this right-hand side part, it's only the education, the skill, the interest. It's not enough for you to sustainable, continue, and make your passion for your work and yeah, your career. Okay, this is overviews in our industries, how we set up in this career path. Yeah, we have the entry level fundamental. This can be applicable not only to security engineers, it can be to a broader range of the engineers workforce. So then you go make much higher, much experiences. You go to the security architect and security engineers. Then in the end, you reach 3 roles here. So security project managers, or you can go to the security technical project leader, and you can also focus your own domain, become a security expert in our industrial. So what does it mean? This means that yes, you have, if you don't like, manage your people, manage the project, you can still focus your current work. You can still make an impact to the industrial, to our daily life through the security expert role, where you become a very senior consultant for all the project, which is dedicated to your skill set. Now, of course, if you say, oh, I want to become a leader, become a project manager, yes, there has the role like a PM and a TPL, yeah, in this career path. So all in all, this is something, automated security was required, holistic, all the experiences, all the, different disciplines, different skill sets we needed. But definitely you are not work alone. You work with the team, you work with your partners. We are come together to bring this industry much better. Yeah. So with all this has led me to growing here with the Continental, where I've been the honor of the top woman in cybersecurity 2020, just passed last year. Yeah. Okay, I think I can stop here. If any questions.
Thank you, Dr. Estelle. It's an interesting journey as from academic, then you go to industry, then you join the Continental. Is there any questions from the floor? Yeah, Dr. Rowena has a question, I think.
Yeah, thank you for that very nice presentation, Estelle. I wonder, is there any effort in Singapore to increase the number of women in your field?
Yes, currently was led by Cybersecurity Authority, CSA. I was also joined different disciplines in Singapore. For example, the ISACA is more cybersecurity auditing. They also have a She Leads tab, and also we have the Division 0 cybersecurity women, women in cybersecurity, women in tech communities. Dr.
May I ask another question?
Yes, sure.
Women are more trusting than men. Does that affect you in your work?
Yes, I actually, in the beginning, I built a team. We have a team of 4. Then fortunately or unfortunately, we have 3 ladies in our team. Then with this kind of path, of course, we hire more and more men. But yes, I think we build the trust in the locations. We also built our ownerships here. So all the business unit trust us because we are very far. We are like a remote station from the HQ from Germany. Yeah. So I can see we build a good reputation in the location. Now I'm also hosting a community cybersecurity within Continental for APAC, including India, Korea, China, Japan. So we also have these monthly meetings, this and that. Yeah, so I think they really see we as a leading in this, in this workforce. Yeah.
Interesting questions and answer. I hope you guys won't get agitated with that question. It's a good smile and laugh in between. All right. Thank you, Dr. Estelle.
Thank you.
We have completed 2 talk. Probably we'll take a picture of all of us as a remembrance, shall we? If possible, can you please turn on your video so that we can get a snapshot of it?
Also the attendance?
Yes, all of us. Yes, we like to see all the women, the men, those patients men, I know. Please hold on because I need to take and then move to the next page as well. There are 2 pages here. Yeah, I can see there are 2 pages here. If possible, can you please turn on? Yep. Hold on, yeah. Let me save the first page. Okay, then I'll need to go to the second page. Let me grab snipping tool, second page. All right, I hope I got all of you. Thank you very much for your cooperation. Very good, women and men, we work together. All right. The third speaker is Dr. Mariam. Let me share my screen, introduce her. Okay. The third speaker is Dr. Mariam Muhammad Isa. She's from IEEE CAS Malaysia chapter. She's currently an academia in Faculty of Engineering, University Putra, Malaysia. So she will be talking to us about challenges as women engineers. A little bit brief bio. Dr. Mariam received her bachelor from UPM in 1996. Upon graduation, she started her career as an engineer in Sony Technology, Malaysia. So she was with Sony for 5 years. Then she came back to UPM to join her PhD in the University of Manchester, and her PhD is on microwave engineering. Currently, she's the associate professor at University Putra, Malaysia. Her interest is more on RF and microwave, as well as digital circuits and systems. She's a very active IEEE CAS Malaysia. She was even the chapter 2011 and 2012. She even started a conference on circuits and systems in 2012, which is currently called International Circuits and Systems Symposium. Now she's still an active IEEE member and holding a position of executive committee member in IEEE CAS Malaysia Society. So Dr. Mariam, it's yours now.
Thank you very much, Lini. Let me share my slide. Sorry, what happened? Hold on.
Slideshow.
What is it showing? No.
It's showing, but it's not in slideshow. You will want to click on slideshow.
Okay. Because on my screen there's website, it came out. Is that okay?
Yes. Perfect.
All right. Because I need a background actually. So can I just enlarge this?
Sure, sure.
Okay, I can just enlarge because I need the screen, background screen. Okay, thank you again, Lini. So good morning, everyone. So I'm going to talk about the challenge as a woman engineer, but I'm going to go through how it started in my experience as an engineer. So it started when I was in high school, when my sister, thanks to her, who encouraged me to take engineering. So she's the one who persuaded me, because at that time, not many women engineers. And furthermore, there are not many, there are lack of interest in maths and science for the women, and also the girls and also the boys. So it is actually a problem, not now, the lack of maths and science is actually a problem decade ago. So I took the challenge that when she asked me to take engineering, because I love maths, so I love solving maths problem. So I have no problem to take engineering. So, and even to my sister, she asked me to take so, because it's a wow thing for women engineering. Don't you think so? So the women engineers will look smart, look clever. So a clever girl normally. So from there, I took my engineering course in UPM, where I've been teaching now. And in the class, I was only 10 of us out of the 50, and around that, which is around 20%. So as you can see that from Dr. Verena slides earlier, you can see that most dominated in the engineering is more male. There's around 70%. And even in our class in the university, we see that the students, female students, is around 20 to 30% from the whole group. So, and also there are studies shows that male has better IQ than women, but to me, although you have a good IQ, if you don't work hard, you will not succeed. So that is what happened to our female students. So if they know that this is our disadvantage, and the same goes to myself. So we work hard, and thank God we succeeded. And you can see that there are also failures in the male students. So it's not that it's not true that engineering is only for male. So because you can see male failures, and also we can see the female succeeded. Okay, so so what is from there, after my degree, I continued. I joined Sony Technology, and I was the only female engineer at that time, before the junior engineer came in. So everybody was, with the only female engineer. People was looking at you, looking high at you. But I feel I don't take that as an advantage. I just to me, I'm just a normal person, same as the others. Even in the production, there are many females. Operators are females normally. So to me, when as a female engineer, in the only female engineer, I feel that I can give motivation to the operators, because some of the operators are part-time students, and sometimes they just finish their high school, they just do part-time job as an operator. So at least it can give motivation to them that to take, there are female engineers. And also in the production, there are parents who have children, daughters. So it should be something like a motivation to them as well. So when I was in Sony, there is I don't feel there is any discrimination. Even if there is, it's very minor or very slightly, and you don't even feel it. You just ignore, you just do your work, and you just show that you are capable, So to show that engineering, women engineers can do. Okay, do not put yourself low. You just so if you let them if you put yourself low, the people will take advantage on you. So you just be strict, you do your work diligence, and they will respect you. So I had a very good experience in Sony. And as what the slide shows is engineers apply principles of math and science and develop economic solution. And actually, in other words, engineers solve problem. Okay, that is my experience when I was in Sony. So although I was in the tuner department, design department, but we also have to be responsible with the production line. If there is any problem, we have to come down and attend them. So it's normal to when I arrive every day, and they call you Mariam, there's a problem in the line, and it's almost every day I have that problem. So I have that I face that task, you know, but it's okay for me. Don't get me wrong, it's not the design is not good. Sometimes there is a problem with the operator's fault, sometimes the jig problem in the production. So but they are asking for your help, so I'm okay with that. So, and in fact, we understand that engineers solve problem. So it's good. I'm happy if we can help them to accelerate their production. They try to improve their production daily and so on. So I was almost 5 years in Sony, and after that I decided to join UPM. Actually, I got the offer from UPM upon my graduation by my lecturer, but I chose to get experience in the industry first before I proceed to join the as academician. So then I joined UPM in 2000 after I got my first baby, and I continued my PhD in 2001. So normally, probably I'm the one who like challenges. So I went to UK for my PhD alone with my 1-year-old daughter. So it was a challenge to study and to look after a baby at the same time. So thank God she got a place in the university nursery, and the fee is very dear there in the UK. So and I got the chance to work in the university in the lab for only from 9 to 5 when my daughter was in the nursery. So and then I went back to continue at home with writing and research after the office hour. Okay. I also even challenged myself when I was in the UK. This is, I mean, because it's not a native, it's a native English environment. So I went to the Europe during the summer holiday, around a week. I took off a week. I went to the Europe with my daughter. At that time, she was 2 years old. And we went to Belgium, Netherlands, France, and Germany, backpacking. Okay, I was not with any travel agent. I just went through, bought tickets, Eurostar ticket, and booked few hotels but I stayed in a few one country for around 1 or 2 days. So it's actually the world is wide, you know, you go out, travel, see what is happening out there. So you do not just when you got the chance, because sometimes there are people who will not, but if you don't have got the chance, at least you go out from your safe, secure environment, see what is happening out there, so you see how the poor people, so always have the intention to help. So especially as an engineer, you want to do something good, you know, at least from a very small, we can start with something small to help the others, and probably later on we can have a group and to the society, and in fact to the government as well. So back to my journey in Europe, thank God it all went well and no bad things happened, although that was after the 9/11 attack. And my experience as a PhD student, I got a good supervisor, Professor Zipeng Wu from University of Manchester. He is a very good man. He's a family man, actually. He's very understanding, because when I told him that I was pregnant, he changed the task, my PhD task. He didn't really change overall, just to suit with during my pregnancy only. So to the men out there, please be considerate, be tolerate, because if you look down at you considerate, then there are problem with the female students or female colleague, because we have daughters, we have probably later on granddaughters. So when you do good to others, people will do good to you. So okay, then after my PhD, I was in the UK for almost 5 years, and then I came back to UPM. So there's another challenge. We have to teach. I straight have to teach, because there's not many lecturers at that time. Some of them went for study leave. So although you have a PhD, but your area in the PhD is not the one that is with the subject assigned to you. So it's something like a zero source. At that time I didn't know that I can share slides with to get slides from the seniors. So I just starts from scratch. So I struggle, but with the full commitment, that your responsibility, that you have to do it, and you just do it. So, and I did well, alhamdulillah, I did well, and I improve from time to time. So this is another thing that the woman should have, whatever that task given, how hard it is, do not feel that it is you must try your fullest, you give your fullest effort. So so until now I'm still with UPM. So in my comment as an academician about the students, so we have female, is the same thing as when I was studying. We have female and around 20-30%, and we have males with the male students. So we see the same thing. We see failure in the male students, engineering students, but we still encourage them. But then one thing that I would like to share is that sometimes especially the female students, I face a few students who really cannot go through. Okay, when we ask them personally, it's actually they're being forced by the parents to take engineering. So I really, really hope to parents out there, do not force your children to take engineering or to take anything that you think is good for them, because they will be very stressed. We have students with I will not say mental problem, but it's really stressed, and sometimes they give up. So just try to encourage, share their interests, discuss with them, get to know what their interest is, and support them. Okay, if you really want your children to take engineering, start from the early age. I mean, they have to love maths. Okay, to me, I also have students who do not like maths. Engineering students do not maths, like what? So because it is a must as an engineering student. So start with the mathematics from the young age. Try to play around with the maths numbers. 1 apple plus 1 apple, you get 2 apples. So Prof. Pro, probably if you can hear this, you want your daughter to be an engineer. Start with the engineering toys. And from there, then you develop the interest in maths, and probably later on, then you would have interest in engineering. All right. So that's about the challenges in engineering, and this is some of the pictures from the engineering students in UPM. Okay. Thank you very much. Up to you, Lini.
Thank you, Dr. Mariam. It's an interesting story. We get to see an insight of how you become a successful woman engineer.
Thank you.
Any questions? Dr. Mariam, probably I can ask.
Yes, please.
What will happen if if your student is saying like it can be like it's a female student, and then she will say, I'm a female, probably you can give some leniency to me on the assignment and etc. Have you ever encountered such a thing?
No. Is a no, big no, because although we are in the same race or in the same religion, but as we are professional, we give results based on their effort. Okay, what we can do is we give them motivation to, and then we give them how to succeed and what to do. Do some exercises, do some revision, rather than it's because it's not because the challenges that you have now actually to build you to be what you are in the future. So it will not, you get something easy. That is what happened when people take what you call it? Bribe. You take bribe, So no easy way. There's no shortcut. Engineering is difficult. You have to go through to be who you are.
Yes, I agree on that. That's why we have, you see, there's a thumbs up from Dr. Rowena.
Oh, thank you. I want to know, how did you do that? I want to do that as well. So, the reaction, is it?
Yeah, the reaction. You go to
I see. Okay. Thank you, Dr. Rowena.
All right, we move on to our fourth talk today. Let me share.
Thank you, Fakro.
Thank you, Dr. Mariam. It's an interesting talk. I get to see an insight of you. All right. Our fourth speakers, they are Dr. Yoke and Dr. Alia. They are actually mother and daughter, so this is a special session for them. They are the co-chairs of IEEE SIGHT on e-health in Indonesia. Alia is from the School of Electrical Engineering and Informatics from Institute Technology Bandung. So they will be talking on women in humanitarian technology. So Yoke and Alia is a mother team who co-chair of the IEEE SIGHT in Indonesia. They are currently the faculty members in the Biomedical Engineering Department of Institute Technology Bandung, Indonesia. Both of them have a cross-disciplinary background. Yoke was trained as a medical doctor before getting her master's and doctorate in electrical engineering and taking a faculty position upon graduation. Meanwhile, Alia has an undergraduate and master degree in electrical engineering from the Institute Technology Bandung and a PhD in strategic management from University Bocconi, Italy. So both of them now are Indonesia. They would like to talk about the women's role in humanitarian technology. Yoke, it's up to you now.
Thank you, Lini. Let me share my screen. Okay, is it clear?
Yes.
Perfect, thank you. Okay, good morning, everyone. Thank you for coming in this Sunday morning. I am Alia.
And I'm Yuka. I'm the mother.
Yeah, okay. Yeah, I'm the daughter. Please don't mistake us. Okay. So today we're going to talk about the multiple dimensions of women in engineering, especially in humanitarian technologies. So a short intro. In case you notice any similarities, Lini has told us that we are mother and daughter team. We currently work as lecturers in biomedical engineering in ITB, Indonesia. So that's why the medical background goes well to the biomedical engineering.
And one more time, both of us have a multidisciplinary background, with me starting off as medical doctor before shifting to engineering, and Alia having both an engineering and management training.
Okay, so next, a bit of a primer, let's say.
So,
yeah.
What is the humanitarian technology and why should we care?
So in short, humanitarian technologies are technologies that are developed or applied for human welfare. This spans a really wide area. One way to categorize this is to see which of the United Nations Sustainable Development Goals, or SDG, can a technology support. Is it poverty, hunger, health, equality, or others? Yeah.
And this is in very well with IEEE.
So, as we know, IEEE is the world's largest technical professional organization. What we also need to know and emphasize is that IEEE is dedicated to advancing technology for the benefit of humanity. So we are currently co-chairs of IEEE SIGHT Indonesia. SIGHT itself, if you are not familiar, is an initiative in IEEE, which is a gathering of IEEE volunteers partnering with underserved communities and local organizations to leverage our expertise technology for sustainable development. In Indonesia, we were founded in 2013, and we focus mostly on e-health and telemedicine. So our IEEE site has various activities, including development and implementation activities, focusing on mother and child health, as well as community educations and professional or member developments.
So the question is, how does the engineer help the woman in everyday life?
Yeah. So what's different? Why do we need to add the word women in front of engineers? We don't actually add male in front of engineers, right? Not male engineer. So there are many historical as well as current reasons for that. In this talk, we'd like to focus on our strengths as women engineers. Sometimes, as we see before, we have like this artificial separation. We divide ourselves into two roles, the woman and the engineer. Being a woman and engineer is often thought of as a challenge or a trade-off, with women being not able to have it all or having to have a trade-off between one and another.
So,
yeah. Okay.
Okay. You first.
Okay, so this is actually an artificial divide. So how can we use our engineering skills in life as a woman? And how can your characteristics as a woman help you become a better engineer?
So we can think of family or the house or the office or schools as the system, where each component contribute and are dependent on each other, such that the burden falls on everyone. And we can play according rules such that system work well, and every day can do their task accordingly.
Yeah, so in engineering, we are familiar with design thinking. We approach design problems as a participatory, iterative, and user-centered endeavor. The key elements of this actually relate on how we as women, as Dr. Yoke said, can solve problems in daily life, from work issues such as managing house chores to deciding who does the grocery shopping. So, for example, as women, whether as a daughter, as a mother, as a sister, we often are put in the center of the household operating systems, a bit like a motherboard, forgive the pun. Therefore, we can organize the house also as such. We empathize and understand the problem with all the stakeholders, the dad, the kid, the aunt, and the others, and define key issues that fit with everyone. So what does everyone want and what does everyone need to do? We initiate change, then we work together on, collaborate, compromise, and challenge, which is something that women are very good at. So as women, whether from nature or nurture, we do have some advantages. We often have more strength or perception in empathizing and understanding problems that combines both technical and social issues. So not just the technical aspect of things, such as those especially arising in humanitarian technologies. In addition, we are more used also usually to collaboratory and participatory work and compromise, which is also a key issue in humanitarian technologies and sustainable development. As women engineers, we are also challenged to work together with many diverse people. So humanitarian technology involves many diverse fields and facets of society.
Okay.
So of course, Dr. Yoga.
Okay. Of course, beyond the typical feminine characteristics, as women engineers, we have the opportunity to shift the value of the system, to shift value, to put value and frivolously undervalue activities such as care, informal sector, and domestic activity, and so on.
Yeah, this is especially an opportunity in COVID-19 where a lot of the work has been shifted home, but sometimes a lot of the work burden, house chores and everything are still shifted to the female. So by putting more value to things like domestic chores, we can sort of also start leveling up the gender divide in the household. So this in turn may encourage a more even spread of participation in engineering and other fields, both in terms of acceptance, inclusion, and participation of women in STEM as well as leadership, as well as normalizing participation of both genders in traditionally feminine or traditionally masculine work. So we'd like to illustrate this framework, let's say, with what we do in IEEE SIGHT. Sahabat Bundaku is our flagship project. It is a quite simple, technologically speaking, mHealth system for midwives, mothers, and decision makers. This project started off as an IEEE SIGHT project grant, scaled up with the HAC project grant, and after that with a combination of stakeholder-owned funding as well as other grants. The project attempts to address maternal and child health, a key issue in Indonesia and other places actually, and a quite women-centered issue. This project is also female-led, with most of the engineers, stakeholders are female because the stakeholders are midwives, mothers, and many health workers who are female. Of course, this doesn't mean that women engineers should only focus on this type of problem. However, here, it is actually quite an advantage to have better understanding and rapport with the stakeholders. So this is just sort of a short description of the system. We connect midwives who can do patient management through mobile phones and automatic reporting, mothers who can track the health of their kids, as well as enabling the health officials to have an overall picture of their jurisdiction. So to give this a bit of a circuit and systems flavor, we are actually now also working to complement this with hardware peripherals that are designed for cost-effective, practical point-of-care testing. Shown here is the design for a non-invasive blood, hemoglobin, and glucose monitoring device. We're now on the second prototype. And this is because a key problem in maternal health is actually anemia, so hemoglobin there, as well as gestational diabetes, so glucose. Finally, what's also more important to note is that sometimes technology doesn't solve everything. So we complement our application with non-digital tools such as board games and physical tools to use when moms do not have ready access to internet, as well as to attract the use of actual technology. So this is just to show some of the implementation. The key results we hope to achieve here is then to empower women, engineers, and others in the community. This picture shows some activities that we hold in the Surabaya municipality in Indonesia. So you can see here are mostly women. Okay, Dr. Yoka?
No, it's your turn.
Okay, this is the problem when you are with your mom. She's the boss. In addition to engaging with the community, we also conduct student activities that promote innovation and inclusion to help prepare the next generation of engineers. So we have given you our experience, our own experience, our one continuous project, but there are actually unlimited role that women engineers can play in rising to the challenge. An example is in this COVID-19 pandemic. Dr. Rowena has shown us the heroes in the Philippines in the COVID-19. Now we'll show a bit about what women engineers in Indonesia did. Dr. Yoka?
Yeah, so therefore to close, we will showcase some of women engineers' responses to COVID-19 in Indonesia. Next slide.
Okay, so first, there are key collaborative efforts that women engineers contributed significantly to. In Indonesia, we have the Task Force for Research and Innovation in COVID-19. It's formed by Indonesia's Agency of Assessment and Application of Technology to develop innovations that help manage COVID-19.
And as seen here, there are key women experts from academia and industry that contribute in this system.
So here we have Dr. Marcelina Tan, who conducted genome sequencing of COVID-19 in Indonesia. Charlene from Nusantic, so this is a startup who contributed to developing rapid test kits. This is Professor Tati Mengko, who contributed in the development of AI for COVID detection using X-ray and CT scan, and we have several others too. Next.
Okay. It's my turn now, yeah? Well, effort directly addressing COVID-19 testing, vaccination, detection, and treatment are important. There are also many other avenues to contribute, some literally closest to our house.
So this is actually our project, me and Dr. Yoka. So Sahabat Sehat is a nutrition guide and recipe repository for family resilience in COVID-19. The issue here is that with COVID-19, fulfilling a healthy diet is more difficult, whether because of economic condition or logistical, or even false information on nutrition that are abound regarding COVID-19. So we develop a platform and social media campaign and webinars and so on and so forth for healthy nutrition and meal planning in COVID-19. This includes a recipe repository, nutrition, and other knowledge tutorials. Oops. Yes.
Okay, the second example of this is Women Against Disruptive Information. COVID-19 hoax are running rampant due to low information literacy. WIE in Indonesia conducted a program that includes virtual workshop on information literacy and mentoring to upskill women's digital literacy skill around Indonesia. And the approach used is to train the trainer, where each participant spread the knowledge and campaign within their own community.
Yeah, so this is actually also funded by the IEEE HAC project grant. And finally, the final project that we want to discuss is Lentera UMKM, or Lifeform Micro, Small, and Medium Enterprise. So a significant portion of our SMEs are not equipped for the pandemic. So they are losing their livelihood. Therefore, we're training them. This group trains them to be able to use the digital media to conduct their business. This is also funded by the IEEE HAC grant. So there are a lot of opportunities provided by IEEE for people and women who would like to do humanitarian technology projects.
So now closing thoughts. The takeaway here is then, what should we do as a woman engineers?
Well, there is a long road ahead. How can we shift the stage for the better for all of us in the pandemic and after?
And the answer will be different for everyone, but some important points. First, find your niche. Build on your strength and interests. Then we have to work together with engineers, with non-engineers, and with other ladies, also gentlemen. And finally, help each other to reach a better world, of course.
Okay. Thank you very much, everyone.
Thank you to the dynamic mother and daughter team. We can really see that this is live where you even argue with your mom whose turn is it? All right. Any questions from the floor?
Can I ask Dr. Yoke? You are still a medical doctor at the moment, and what makes you decide to go? You take engineering course, or you just move to doing engineering works?
Okay. Actually, now I more to engineering work, but it's the story is quite a long story. After taking the medical doctor, my profession, full profession as a full housewife for until 10 years. And after that, I want to contribute my profession, but in different angle. So I take the engineering course, and now I'm more becoming an engineer, not a medical doctor anymore.
But it's still vital, I think, your connection to the medical doctor, especially because we work in biomedical engineering.
Yes.
So sometimes when I speak to doctors, it's almost a different language. But when Dr. Yoka speaks, then it's like a bridge between the medical doctor and the engineers. So I think here the point is also interdisciplinary collaboration.
Yes, it's certainly an interesting work, especially when you go into biomedical engineering. Right. Thank you, Dr. Alia. Thank you, Dr. Yoke. Well, we all like to have choices in life, and best of all, choices that appeal to us. Let me quote someone who chose to challenge. She wrote a long paragraph. She said that women are a beautiful creature in the world, and woman is creative. You see, they can be anything in any role. They can think, learn anything quickly, and feel of a solution in one time because of their comprehensive perspective. Some people believe that women in engineering are impossible. But wait, if a man can think of just one solution, women can think of 1,000 solutions with a creative waypoint. I'm not sure I'm going to agree on that because I might get beaten by my husband later. But sometimes women lack focus because the problem of her shoulder, that means the problem that we shoulder are too much. But when women focus on one area, she can do anything more than you can imagine. So I will always say that women are creative, beautiful human beings. Thankfully for that. So as female engineers, if we can collaborate with the engineer men to create something great, it will be great. It will be the combination of beautiful solution and the focus of hardworking men. This is from, let me quote, who is this from?
Rizky Putri.
Yes, correct. Rizky Putri. I saw this as an interesting long way of writing. She actually put in her effort to write such a beautiful paragraph. Is she here? Just want to applause for him. Okay. Yes, great. Okay.
So she's our first winner, right?
Should be. All right. Let's move on to the last event of the day. We will have a panel discussion. So discussion topic that we have today is challenges and opportunities for women. We have here from academia, industry, and government. Dr. Rowena Christina Guevara from government. Dr. Estelle Wang is from industry. Dr. Mariam, Dr. Yoke, Dr. Alia, they are from the academia. So probably we can start with the discussion on this. Did I start with a question? Probably some of the questions that we have from the participants, okay? Maybe we can start with saying, what do you think is the main challenge for women from your area. Let's start with Dr. Estelle.
Okay, I'm the first one. I thought Dr. Ravina would be the first. Okay, okay. I think the biggest challenge in my area, yes, is to gain the trust from your colleague and also to prove that you can really do things nicer or better. But all in all, the biggest challenge for women is how to say in the industry, how you develop your soft skills better, to be don't too shy to present and communications, because this will be taking up like up to 50% of your career, will highly depending on this kind of skills other than the technical skills you have. So from that perspective, I have also team members. She is a little bit shy, in this kind of activities and to express herself. So my encouragement here is to find all the opportunities where you can practice yourself. Don't to be shy to present or communicate with your, with this kind of platform wherever we can provide it. So this is the biggest challenge in the industrial for female colleagues. Yeah, here, yeah.
How about Dr. Rowena? What do you think is the biggest challenge when you're in government sector?
I guess this is across any sector. When the woman starts having babies, it could be a challenge. While we have very good rules about maternity leaves, it is only new that we now have also paternity leave, meaning to say the father will also have to share in the responsibility, especially during the first days of a baby. But having said that, in the government sector, when we attend meetings, it is dominated by male undersecretaries and secretaries. For example, in our cabinet, there is only one woman now. It used to be two women in the cabinet, but now only one woman. And when I attend the cabinet meetings, I notice that the loudest voices are for the male cabinet members. But the nice thing about in the Philippines, when women speak, the men, they are quiet, they listen. And so I think it's a matter of women getting and going after the opportunities more than there are being barriers. So women will have to take the opportunity when the opportunity present themselves. If they don't, then we lose out. The opportunities are there, but sometimes, depending on the leader, women will either take or not take an opportunity. For example, in my department, we are very fortunate because we had a female secretary for 10 years. This is Dr. Alabastro, also an engineer. And then the replacement, male engineer, and now also another male engineer. But in both cases, they are very respectful of women scientists, researchers, and engineers. And therefore, in government, in Department of Science and Technology, no problem at all. But for other departments, I've heard stories that sometimes it is difficult for women to assert their ideas. But I noticed that the women who do assert their ideas get their ideas across. So it's just a matter of taking the opportunity.
Probably we will have different view from academia. Dr. Mariam?
Okay, for me, the big challenge is actually yourself. Okay, so it's actually the fear that we have. Normally, as a woman, you don't have confidence. So it's actually something that you have to build from the inside. So do you therefore to have a strong inner self. So if there's any other challenge that comes from the outside, you can go through it. So another thing is, once you have a good inner self, you also have to, women have to have a good time management. So because we have you have a family to look after, we have our career to do. So, and also we have to prioritize things. So when you are in the office, you know that you don't have much time, you give the fullest. And if you at home, you try to you plan your things so that you, when you know you have a big task to do, for example a meeting to chair, you do your job at home, plan it well, and then communicate with your partners, your children, so that you can, because they would understand it as well. So that's from me.
Dr. Alia, you have anything to add on?
Sure. Okay. The others have pointed out many very salient challenges. For me, and I think also for many women, especially starting off their career, a key challenge sometimes is saying no. So because we are very enthusiastic, we want to contribute and everything, sometimes there are a lot of activities. Some of them have potential high value for yourself. Some of them maybe has high potential value for the community, but not necessarily for you. So we have to learn to prioritize based on our targets and learn when to say, okay, this is too much. This is what I can handle. This to say no. And to this day, actually, I still have some difficulty sometimes in doing so.
How about Dr. Yoke, from the point of view of a mother, since your daughter is here?
Yeah, of course. When I teach my student, I always said that, especially the women students, that if you becoming an engineer, that the traditional feminine thing, it's very important. It's your added value for you. So you have to learn cooking, baking, and something like that. Maybe this. I always say to my students.
And make it an advantage.
So we see these are the challenges that we have as a woman engineer, from trust, women trying to get trust from men. For working engineers, we try to have our maternity leaves, then we will be questions. Most importantly, you have to be yourself, challenge yourself. The same thing as dare to say no, and the tradition that we have to pass on from our family. So these are the challenges that the panels have talked about. Can we convert all these challenges to an opportunities for us? What do you think? Dr. Rowena, can I start with you? Can we convert all these challenges to an opportunity for us?
Oh yeah, I actually believe that these challenges can be converted to opportunities. I have seen, for example, some CEOs of startup companies that try to address these challenges and make it a business opportunity. For example, I mentioned that when you have your babies, you go on maternity leave, and if you are a CEO of a company, that's difficult to do. So I know that there are some applications created by women CEO of startups that help you find good help in your house so that you can continue with your work as a professional after giving birth to a child. And these kinds of help or these kinds of thinking are only able to come out because they are women who also had undergone through the same experience. So the challenge of having to raise your kid and still work as CEO, that was seen by some female CEO of a startup, and they were able to convert it to opportunities. Thank you.
True. I believe that it's also a great way to train new people to follow your path. Is as a good mentor, you will do that. Dr. What do you think?
Okay, so yes, the opportunities are there for women. For example, we have this women in community, women in tech, women in engineering organizations. But you rarely hear like men in tech or men in community. This is also partially why, you know, the society wants to encourage the women in this kind of career path. And also from industrial perspective, we want diversity. Yes, if the whole team is just male, you know, the work, how to say, I can't say is low efficient, but we'll be getting very bored every day. Yeah. And also, you know, as a role model in the company or in the industrial, you are mother, you have played different roles like your mother, your wife, you are also a team lead, you are also a manager. This really encourage the young woman or young engineering female who can follow you to say, oh, there has a successful role model in front of my side. I also can, you know, somehow pursue my career path like her. Oh, yeah, like she. Yeah. So this is really a good opportunities for the young female engineering force. Thank you.
That makes me Google on, is there an International Men's Day? Because and Dr. Estelle said we have women in community, women in society, but we seldom hear about International Men's Day. Probably we are women, but we didn't hear that. Then I find out that there is actually International Men's Day on 19th of November. Probably CAS can have something on that. Just a suggestion. All right. Yes, we should have diversity. How about Dr. Mariam? Do you have anything to add on?
Okay, for me, with all these challenges, it built you to be a good person. You have it gives you to be a strong and a better person. So when you already develop with all these challenges, you develop yourself and you are able to take any task. So and from there, people will look for you and give you the opportunity to give a position, to give any task, and they have they trust on you. But one thing is we do not take gender as take for granted, and you should not show that you are weak. Okay, so you must be strong. People look you strong, and then from there you can get the opportunity to do any task.
Yes, we have to be strong. That's why we are here on a Sunday morning. All right, Dr. Yoke, what do you think? What are the opportunities for us?
Okay, the opportunity is I think it's very wide and very big, yeah. Because as a woman engineer, we can see all the problem as an engineer perspective, so we can see how to solve it as an engineer. Maybe this.
Dr. Aya, you have anything to add on to your mom?
Sure, of course. Yeah, I think like the way that we look at it, how do we look at challenges? Challenges is just the other side of the coin to the opportunities, because there are no opportunities if there is no challenge. So if the problem is there are not enough women engineers, or it is difficult to be women engineers, then how can we have more, and how can we make it easier, and how can we work together and help each other as women engineers so we can contribute more and use our sort of like advantages that are different from the advantages of men, so we form a cohesive picture. Thank you.
Yeah, that's why we always said men and women, we always complement each other. So what that we don't have, the men will have it. What we will try to complement that. All right. That comes to the last question for the panels to ponder. How about in terms of your work-life balance, your kids, family, then you have to work with your industry, in the government, in NGO, all these things. How do you put them together and make sure that you have a work-life balance? Probably I will start with Dr. Yoke this time.
Yes, as a mother, of course, before our kid going to school, they have to have a breakfast, of course. And this in class, I always bring not many big thing, but the candy is quite make them happy, make them more excitement, and of course there's a calorie in there in case somebody not having breakfast yet because they have to go early in the morning. So I hope give them a candy every class, everybody, make them happy and make them more brighten in receiving the the material. Okay, thank you.
Oh yeah, did your mom make breakfast for you?
We actually share. Now I make most of the food.
Oh.
No, but I think work-life balance is the specialty of women, right? And we can also try to find opportunities on how to do this for ourselves. For example, in COVID-19 condition, there are some disadvantages towards women, such as women work a lot in sectors that are impacted, like hospitality. However, as academics, we find that there are now more opportunities for work-life balance. For example, I can do student consultations while cooking lunch. Whereas before I have to be on site, right? So we can find opportunities, and technologies, especially us as engineers, is something that can help very much with this, with scheduling, with dividing tasks and everything. So we do not have to do it all alone. We have to divide the work. We are the motherboard.
It's an instinct, right?
Yes. Thank you.
Mariam, what does your instinct tell you?
Okay. To me, you will never get a perfect balance because if you have a if you have a variety of work to do, and if you go too breadth of it, so what you should do is just focus and do not search for perfection. So if, for example, if you have a house to look after, you can try to get somebody to part-time job to clean up your house, and then you can do the cooking. So you do it over the weekend, and then plan things, but focus to what you want to do instead of trying to cover everything perfectly.
Yes, I agree with you, Dr. Mariam. It's like tell my husband, you take care of the kids now because I'm here.
Yeah, because you cannot do everything on your own. So you have to you have to learn how to delegate.
Yes. Dr. Estelle, how about you from industry point of view?
Yes, yeah, work-life balance. Yeah, so it's a very important topic for industry perspective. And so for myself, I try to play the role once I'm in that role. For example, I'm in the daily life, daytime, I'm mainly dedicated for Continental. I'm functioning as engineers there. But after off work time, I become mother. I need to take care of my daughter, my son. Once they need me, they also need my time for them, playing and growing together. And also, I would like to thank the dedications where I have a good husband as well. He take care of the cooking and also take care of the kids as well. Then on the other hand, I take the rest of the house tasks like cleaning the floor, this and that. I mean, this is kind of also the balance in the family. But all in all, yes, after 6 p.m., I seldom trying to, to put my head on engineer's role. I put more on the mother roles. And it's difficult where I'm doing the traveling. So because then my husband needs to take care of like a mother role in the family. Yes, I really want to thank him. But all in all, please make sure once you're in that role, play the most important, the role part where you want to focus and try to balance, this work-life balance. Thank you.
True, I agree that after work in the evening, we seldom have time to work on the engineering. We will move on the motherhood part. How about Dr. Rowena? What do you think?
First of all, you have to be sure about what you want. In my family, we always say family comes first. So I have to choose a boss that will understand that I need to drop everything. There's something for my family that I need to do. In the same manner, I also have dialogue with my family to explain to them when I really need to concentrate on work and that they should understand that I cannot give more time for certain times of the year. Like during the start of the pandemic, my meetings start at 7 in the morning and end at 11 p.m. So I cannot do anything else in between. And I had to explain that you cannot bother me during those time. I cannot do, even Saturday and Sunday, I have to work during the start of the pandemic because government had to make a lot of policies, had to make a lot of actions and so on. So it is important to state exactly what you need and to find a boss that will understand that. For me, family comes first, and my boss understands that there was some time that I had to drop everything at work because I needed to attend to my family, and that's okay with my boss. But more than that, when you talk about work-life balance, most people think about life only in terms of family. You also have to make time for yourself. I believe that my case, my first love is music, and so now I am taking PhD in music because I need to invest in what I really love to do. So please find time for yourself also. Thank you.
Interesting. Next time we should have some music from Dr. Rowena.
Yay.
Well, the discussion is so interesting that a participant actually requested whether she can ask a question. And then I said, yes, one question.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yes. Good morning, everyone. I hope you all in the good condition as always. So first of all, I would like to say thank you so much for this opportunity to have this kind of webinar with the great ladies. My question will be the basic one, not the technically, apologies for it, but I feel curious with all this amazing women's experience. As we know, the man is still the dominant in engineering. When we decided to declare as the woman engineer, there are so many perspectives for us. So have you ever felt left behind than the man because of the lack of knowledge you have? Then how do you motivate yourself when you felt down in this field? Thank you so much.
So Miss Aya, your question is, do you feel left behind? Is that your question?
Yes, correct. Then the man, we know.
Okay, interesting. Dr. Rowena, probably you have answer for her already.
I have to confess something. I didn't know about discrimination by sex until I went to America, and I was already 29 years old because I was never discriminated because of my gender in the Philippines. But having learned that, before I did not accept these kinds of invitation where we talk about women with women. But after learning about the situation in the global perspective, I had to do that also. As for lagging behind men, to a certain degree, I felt that way, but I knew that all you have to do is become better and be confident that you can do what they can do. And when you start thinking that way, things change for you. That's all I can say.
So it's back to build your own confidence. Challenge yourself, I think. Dr. Estelle, you have anything to add on?
Lacking behind I always think I'm ahead ahead of the man. Yes, be confident with yourself and talking to yeah, if you need mentoring or talking to some lady or woman who already get a little bit success stories. Yeah, as you know, I myself as a engineering part, I don't think my you know, my experiences, I mean, lacking behind the man. And on the other words, that you know, I'm also leader. I'm lead people's lead colleague in my in the industrial, where from the woman perspective, I always encourage them to work-life balance and also give them a growing opportunities, the space, especially for my female yeah, colleague. For example, I share, you know, some opportunities for the public talks and this and that. And slowly, after a while, 2 years, she gets more confident to talk about more inside the platform of the industrial. So basically, I suggest that, you know, you can talk to some lady or woman and to learn from there, and also get more encouraged or more confident of yourself. Yeah.
Yes, all of us here, if you need help, we can talk to each other. Even myself, if I have a question, I'll talk to the women in class. Sometimes I talk to Dr. Mariam, since we are in the same country. Aya, if you have question, you can talk to your country rep. You can talk to Dr. Alia, Dr. Yoke, they are from the Humanitarian Technology. From Philippines, you can talk to Dr. Rowena. From Singapore, you can talk to Dr. Estelle. From Japan, you can talk to Dr. Yoko. There are lots of help that you can get, as long as you're willing to speak out. That's the important part. And we will help each other. We are all human beings. Okay, Aya? All right. Due to time constraint, let's move on to the next event. We would like to give out the CAS membership on this event. Yes, I'll pass it to Dr. Alia. Dr. Alia will cover this part of this section. Dr. Alia.
Thank you, Dr. Lini. So yes, Southeast Asia Circuit and System Society has kindly agreed to give us opportunity for 7 CAS membership for 1 year, based on the challenges that you submitted as women engineers. So we have a lot of good entries. We have 52 entries actually. So not all of you can come to this meeting, but some of you are also watching via YouTube. So we chose randomly, and we chose 7 winners. For the winners, we will contact you via email on how to get your prize. Basically, you register by yourself, and then we will reimburse you the money. So the first winner has been highlighted by Dr. Lini earlier, is Rizky Putri Nurma Budi from Universitas Nadatul Ulama Surabaya. Her comment was very long and very meaningful about how women are beautiful creatures that should be strong in terms of engineering. And then our second winner is Catherine Manuela Lee Ramos from De La Salle University in the Philippines. Her challenge is quite serious. A key challenge is to protect yourself from harassment. Many get intimidated by female colleagues, so you try to sort of like set yourself up to be strong and not be harassed. So while none of the speakers today have highlighted this, we know that this is an issue that still happens not only in engineering, but also in other fields. And this is something that women engineers can work together, and also male engineers especially can help to eradicate. Our third winner is Jasmine Sekar Arum from Institut Teknologi Bandung, Indonesia. So she talks about that there are still some stigma in women engineering, especially about the capabilities of women to do their job really well. And we just have to prove that we can do our job really well. The fourth is Siti Zarina Nazir from University Malaysia Perlis. She said that it's truly a challenge for a woman to act or become a female engineer. society still have some skepticism, few about the women's ability as an engineer, and women also have multiple roles or hats that they have to take, and sometimes can potentially limit their excellence as a successful engineer. So this is something that we have to learn together and to share the hat also with the males of the society. And then we have Hidayah from Indonesia. She works at Lapan, so from the government. She said, I think she's the one who asked the question earlier. The perspective that I can say as the trigger to people labeling female engineer. Some people might feel enthusiastic when they find female engineers. Our unique idea, spirit, and skills could be interesting and inspiring. Besides, we can't deny that people can make another stereotype to female that make doubt. Hence, it's our opportunity to create a good point of view that female engineer exists, and we need to collaborate for a better future. So I think this is a very nice and positive outlook that we should present ourselves as capable and potential females. And then second to last, Azah Shafia binti Marzuki from TM R&D in Malaysia. So from the industry, the key challenge from my own experience is to convince the male engineers that women engineers nowadays are more than ready to take up bigger responsibilities, not just as an assistant. Fantastic. And finally, Insinyur Lani Agustin from Widya Mandala Surabaya Catholic University from Indonesia. The main challenge is to become, or when acting as female engineer, are limited physical abilities and the harsh work environment where many men are involved. Besides that, it is also a challenge to divide time for family responsibilities, especially if you have children. So here we have sort of like a lot of varying challenges for women. Hopefully, as women engineers, we can work together and help each other for a better future. Thank you. Back to Lini.
Congratulations to all the winners. Dr. Alia will contact you and guide you on the steps to obtain your CAS membership 1 year free. Congratulations again.
Congratulations.
Yes. So we have come to the end of the event. It's 12:02. So probably we'll be preparing for lunch. 12:02 in GMT +8, whereas in Indonesia and Philippines, I think probably is an hour earlier. Okay. So thank you all for being here. Thank you to the WiCAS chair, Dr. Yoko. Thank you to the CCAS ambassador, Dr. Fakro. Thank you to the panel, Dr. Rowena, Dr. Estelle Wong, Dr. Alia, Dr. Mariam, Dr. Yoke, not forgetting Tata as well, Anastasia, for helping and ensuring that the event goes well. I believe we are the winners today. Thank you.
Yay. Thank you.
Thank you.
Bye.
Bye.
Thank
See
you
you
all.
again.
Yeah, see you again.